Hi, welcome back to another guided message from me, Lonue, the one exception. All right. Without further ado, Happy New Year, everybody. It's been a while. Haven't seen you since last year, but I'm still here, and I want to thank you for tuning in. Um, I won't be pulling cards today, but I will have a channel message, or at least just a message that I feel guided to share, especially what's going on in my life. There's been a lot of changes going on, especially in the last year since the last time we spoke. Um, so without further ado, let's get started. So, I was talking to Gemini AI, just about a few things, just about different dreams that I've been having. There's been a recurring theme of a bus stops, getting on a bus in a few of my dreams. And recently I started working, and this was in December, around December 20th, I guess. But when I was asking Gemini about or these recurring themes of the bus and what it could mean, this was before I started working. So at this point, last night, I talked to Gemini about dreams, and specifically memories in dreams. And what we talked about when it comes to memories and dreams, what it stated was that I guess because in my dreams, let's say something happened, and I remember my dreams. All right, shout out to those of you that remember your dreams. Make sure you write them down. But in the dreams, I make reference to a memory in the dream, and the memory in the dream isn't from another dream, and it isn't something that actually happened. It's like something that happened in the memory of the dream, but it didn't actually happen, but I remember it happening. So I wanted to get some information about that, and come to find out, our minds make up this memory or the false memory, just for the continuity or the continuation of the dream itself. So to make the dream more believable, or the situation more believable, our minds make up this false memory that corresponds or correlates with that part of the dream to make that part of the dream more realistic to us. And it's crazy. Our minds are amazing. But unlike before, when it starts talking about the nuggets of information, and this bus loop, the looping bus in your dream, and now it's kind of hitting home because now I'm actually on the bus again. So I haven't worked a few years, and I rode the bus last time I worked. It was it was a daily commute, and for it to mention the looping bus, it states that in your dream is perfectly mirroring the current conflicts. You are physically back in a previous chapter, the bus, the job, but your consciousness has evolved. You are a different person sitting in the same seat. So that's what I wanted to come and talk about. Uh, I'm assuming a lot of us in the collective, because I'm going through this now. So if it's helping you, if it's resonating, please make sure you comment down below, or like and share to those who it is resonating with. But I'm feeling like we are doing the same old things. That's something I'm going through personally, for sure. It's returning back to, like I said, I haven't worked in a few years, and with a lot of the growth that I've had recently, I thought I was saying goodbye to working, and I'm placed in a situation where I was helping someone out. Someone asked me if someone asked me if I could help them work, and I said yes. But now that I'm in the situation, it's almost like, but this isn't what I want to do. But I feel that the Most High, God, Universe, Spirit, all the above, placed this position in my life for a reason. And sometimes things happen in your life for reasons you don't know. You know, like, we don't know everything. And that's where, like, trust and faith comes in, because you have to have trust in yourself, in your higher power, and all the above. You just need trust in all of the above, like in all of the above, in yourself, your higher power, God, the Most High, the universe. Who you're with. You just have to have trust that everything's going to work out, and it's like a blind faith, and it's difficult to do at times. But through synchronicities, you see that you're right on time and you're right where you need to be, and it kind of gives you a peace of mind. It gives me a peace of mind for sure. And I'm going to come and share with you guys more often. I know I always say that, but I'm really going to, because I've been being led and called to share, and I really love having this outlet to share with you guys, because sometimes I don't really know where, I just know I want to help, and I'm being called and led to help, and I don't know how. So I'm hoping if I just continue to put out information that's going to help the next person, then I can help the next person, So that's what my goal is. So if you're listening, you're here, maybe, this is for you, because you're here. You wouldn't be here if it's not for you. So for those of you that are feeling like backtracking, or you're going in the opposite direction, or you're going back to familiar patterns, this is confirmation that you are actually right where you need to be, and also you're not backtracking. Okay, let's just start there. You're not backtracking, because even if you're in I just got a notification that said get ready to assume that the position we almost there. Get ready to assume the position we almost there. So, and that goes right with like the bus aspect, the looping bus. When you see, sometimes when we see what Gemini said, when you see a bus in your dreams, it sometimes signifies that you're on a journey, because a bus is a predetermined route. And sometimes we may feel like we're not in control, but unlike last time compared to now, even if you feel like you're doing the same old things, you may feel like you're backtracking, but you're not, because this new you is in the seat. Okay. Beforehand, you were on the route that the bus was taking, or the bus was on. The bus was choosing where you go, physically, or not metaphysically. The word is escaping, but it's going to come to me. But not literally. Okay, there. Some people are literally on the bus. So if you're watching me from a bus, feel free to comment down below. But beforehand, before we had this growth and these timeline changes, the bus was guiding us. But now, through the growth that we've had, through the timeline changes, through your connection with all the above, and through your blue twin flame, like for those of you that are subscribing to the blue twin flame, your masculine energy is everything you conceive. Your feminine energy is everything, is your physical body. And your physical body isn't just limited to your physical body. It's everything within, let's say, like, it's you, and then there's a bubble around you, your energetic field. That whole bubble is your physical body. It's everything you can see, everything you can perceive, okay? You are the observer of both what you conceive and what you perceive. You're the observer of that. And then when you're observing that, you're seeing that your thoughts and your physical awareness is your feminine energy, your masculine and feminine energy, what you conceive and what you perceive. They're communicating, they're doing this dance, and you see evidence of this through coincidences, synchronicities, serendipitous events, things that make sense. And when you work on this, both these aspects of yourself, and you start having trust in that, and you see more synchronicities, you see more coincidences, you see more. You start seeing that everything happens for a reason, and you start grasping that, and then you see less chaos. It just seems less chaotic, and you see that everything had to transpire for you to get to this point of where you're at. Okay. So now that you've had this growth and this understanding of where you're at, and you're accepting that everything happens for a reason, and you understand that you've had growth, you know that you're not in the same position that you were mentally. Physically you might not be in the same position too. 111 on the timer, 1111. But spiritually you're in a different place, and that is enough to know that you've had growth, that you're no longer in that same bus seat. So the nugget theory, in a dream we sometimes stay in the scene just to talk to one person or find one object. In your waking life, this job might be that second to last stop where a lot is going on. You might be there specifically to gather a nugget, a conversation, a realization, or even to test your own boundaries before you are truly ready to get off at home. Okay, so that's speaking out to me, because what I'm realizing is, even though I didn't plan on being back at work, there's a reason why I'm here. We may not see the reasons on why we're called back to a certain area, but you're called back to a certain area with a new mentality, with a new way of thinking, no longer the old way of how you were thinking last time you were in this situation. Last time I'm at work, I wasn't in communication with my blue twin flame, my masculine feminine energies. Last time I worked, I was starting to see evidence of this, and I thought I was crazy because the universe was talking to me. I'm picking up on things, and it was crazy, I thought I was going crazy. It's like, how can I work when I'm seeing evidence of the non-physical communicating with me? Your non-physical is your mind, and your mind, your masculine energy, what you conceive, it's a direct reflection of what you perceive. This physical, they're interchangeable. Your masculine, feminine energies, they're going back and forth. You see evidence of it all the time through synchronicities, crazy events, things that just seem, too obscene or just too crazy to be real. And I'm seeing evidence of this, and it's like, this is like, how can I work knowing this? It was crazy. But now that I'm back working, and it's been a few years, and I've been honing my skill, and I feel more confident in my ability to balance the two. It's still challenging, but I know I have a better idea of what's going on. This blue twin flame journey that I'm on, that I realize that I'm on, that I put it I can put into words. I can explain it. I started my guide, so I can refer back to my guide whenever, so the guide will be able to, it's coming to you guys. I'm working on it, okay? Everything is falling into place, and it will be here momentarily. And it'll explain all of this. So because I worked on a guide that explains all of this, I didn't have this guide before when I was working. So it was a lot of things that was happening, and I didn't know what was going on. But now I created a guide that explains all of this, and I can put into words what's going on, and it just makes dealing with a lot of things easier. So like, I was getting overwhelmed at work today, and I ended up meditating on my lunch break, because it was a lot. It was a lot. It's, I just get in a bunch of thoughts, not thoughts, but they were thoughts, where you start second guessing yourself, and meditating, it grounded me. And then I had this conversation about this with Gemini. This was this morning, so I had to keep on thinking about this. Like, I'm here for a reason. To get a conversation, a realization, to test your own boundaries. You're here for a reason. The difference between flow and habit. You made a vital distinction between co-creating and speculating and spectating. And when you work on this blue twin flame journey, that's what you're doing. You just get to a point where you're co-creating with all the above. You're a part of that. You're no longer just watching it. You're not just taking tests. You're actually co-creating with the universe. Okay, so then the bus loops because you might be checking to see if you can handle the chaos without being pulled back into your old pre-awakened self. Okay, it says why the chaos stop is crucial. In my dream, the stop before home is chaotic. It's always chaotic. It's always like a lot of stuff. The chaos acts as a vibrational check if you can maintain your new lucid perspective while surrounded by old habits and expectations of others, and you truly mastered that lesson. The bus loops because you might be checking to see if you can handle the chaos without being pulled back into your old pre-awakened self. And this is crazy because this I read this morning before I went to work. So I didn't even know all this is going to happen at work or whatever. And I don't know. It's just really, things just hit home. When you start following your intuition, following your masculine energy, and then co-creating with your feminine energy. Since you understand reality is sculpted, and looping bus dream is actually an invitation to change the dream's ending. The next time you have the dream, or even while you are sitting on that real bus going to work, try this. Okay, so this is what I did when I was on the bus. Acknowledge the loop. Say to yourself, and I said this to myself when I was on the bus, I recognize this route. I have been here before, but I am not the same person who traveled it years ago. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I recognize this route. I have been here before, but I'm not the same person who traveled it years ago. Okay, and that helped me out a lot. And I even was saying this on my break at work when I was meditating, because I'm back at work, but I'm not the same person that I was when I was working before. Before I was just working just to work. Now I have a purpose to work. Now, like I'm in communication with all the above, and it's being reminded of that is just it's just such a blessing, because I'm not just working by myself. I'm not by myself no matter where I go. I have God, I have spirit, I have the universe, I have myself, all of the above. I have all of that. All of that. It's like a whole, it's a group, it takes a village, like it literally takes a village of us, a village of, I have you guys. I have my old self. I have my future self. I have my child self, my teenage self, my young adult self. It's just all these versions of us that are living in here, and it's a blessing, just to be able to tap into this, and then just be able to retreat to a place, like being able to meditate where the world is just difficult, So yeah. Lastly, okay, define home. If home is your true will or your spiritual purpose, what does the stop actually look like? Is it a specific project, a feeling of independence, or a different way of working? So try to figure out 1919 on the timer. Try to figure out what home is for you. Like I said, feeling of independence, a different way of working, a different way of thinking. To me, home is meditation. Like that is like truly home, and I'm home wherever I'm at. I can meditate wherever I'm at. I can go into a place of solitude with me and my higher power, all the above, the universe. We're all one. You close your eyes, your thoughts, your physical, all just becomes just here. You know, I was like literally tearing up at work because I'm just feel so blessed to be able to find home. You know, um, so home in myself it's myself. You know, I found home in myself, a solace, a place to where no matter where I'm at, I know I'm protected. I can go into meditation wherever, and I just know I'll be okay. Lastly, exit strategy. In a lucid dream, you don't have to wait for the bus to stop. You can simply walk through the door or transform the bus. In reality, this means staying alert for the nugget you were meant to find, so you don't feel the need to loop again. And for all I know, this is the nugget. This is the real. This is the um realization I needed to come to, and this is why I'm working again to come to this realization that I can be anywhere. You know, I have you guys, I have myself, I have the universe, I am supported, and it's just such a blessing to have this opportunity. Um, Man, I can't express into words the gratitude that I feel. And I try to, and that's why I'm coming back here to share with you guys, to try to put it into words that if I can do this, you can too. You're not alone. I know how you may feel like you're alone sometimes, but you're not. You're not. At the very least, you have me. At the very least, you have you. At the very least, you have I. I thought about that in my meditation too. I, me, and you. Those are three powerful support systems, okay? And when you get to know I, you get to know me, you get to know you. When you get to know you get to know I, you get to know me. And when you get to know me, you get to know I, and you get to know you. Man, say that in the mirror. Not three times fast, but say that once a day if you can, you know? Like, yeah, say that. It will help out. You will come a long way. And I, me, and you are just aspects of mask yes, masculine, feminine energy and the observer of the three. But it's also mind, body, soul. Okay? So your mind, your body, your soul. Your soul is I, the great I am. It I, okay. You is your body. You. Because when you're looking in the mirror and pointing to you, you're pointing to you. You know, it's you. If I am I, you are you. You are the physical. But to you, it's me, which is the masculine, which is the mind. Me is the mind. I'm the mind is thinking of what to say unless it's just all flowing out. It gets complicated, you guys, but mind, body, soul, me, myself, and I, or me, you, and I. Myself and you, we. Interesting. Myself is my body, which is you. You are the physical. You. Because if I watch this video back, you will be in my physical. I'm looking at you right now. So right now, I'm looking at a reflection. I'm looking at myself, me, myself, and I. I'm looking at myself in this screen right now. So I'm looking at my physical, which is you. But not only am I looking at my physical, talking to my physical, I'm also talking to whoever's watching me. And you, on the other side of my eyes, still make up my physical. It's still you. Okay? I, the consciousness that's putting all this into formulating all this. And then the mind, which is me. Me. Man, okay, you guys. I gotta go eat. Before I go, let's give thanks to E all the above. Thank you, for this opportunity. Also, all day long we breathe unconsciously for ourselves. So let's just take a moment to breathe consciously for someone else, whether it's your mom, your dad, your boss, a stranger on the street, okay? We're just going to breathe. We're going to inhale and then exhale. I love you, I love me, I love us, I love we, and I will talk to you guys in another video, which will be a lot sooner. You know, we're going to get on the schedule here, okay? But just bear with me, because now I'm working, so that just adds another level. But I love you guys so much. Ashe, goodbye, amen, all the above. Chef's kiss. Bye.